Welcome to another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, this is your host, Truth Seeker here. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full breakdown on the Obama's new movie, Leave the World Behind. There is a lot of symbolism in this movie. I've already covered the blackout symbolism in this movie, but there's a lot more symbolism. Case in point, the words are carefully put together at the top listing the actors in the movie. And it spells out Bell. That is done by design because these people worship Satan. And it's right in your face. It is also interesting they chose the deer to focus on, because the deer is usually associated in the occult with a demon-like creature known as a Wendigo. So it's very interesting that they chose the deer as a main focus on the poster, and deer are a main focus in the movie. The intro to the movie alone is full of symbolism. I'm sure I've missed a lot of symbolism, but one that stuck out to me was the fact they focused, of course, on the all-seeing eye. They love to continue to show you their symbolism over and over and over. And of course, the all-seeing eye is black and white. And that's to do with the duality, and the red is in there too. And red and black is associated with Satanism also. It's amazing how much symbolism is in this movie. But of course, the Obamas produced it, so it's really not surprising. They also snuck the 666 in here too, because over on the left you see 6 and the clock is 6. And then over on the right side of the shelf, you see another 6. So there is more symbolism right in your face. These people continue to put this symbolism constantly in your face over and over and over. And it's interesting how this whole entire movie was focused on a blackout, and now you have the blackout talk in the news. They also focused on the Masonic checkerboard pattern. And they also focused on Friends. And we know what happened to Matthew Perry earlier in the year. This movie already wrapped up filming before Matthew Perry's death. And the cover of her iPad that she's watching this on is purple. And purple was also associated with Matthew Perry. And this was Matthew Perry's last post on Instagram. And of course, he passed away in a jacuzzi, otherwise known as a hot tub. And Matthew Perry and Obama had a connection with each other. And again, keep in mind, this movie wrapped up filming in May of 2022. And also, they focused on this house and the roof. Pay attention to the color of the roof. It is blue. This is very significant because this has to do with, remember what happened in Maui? The fires and the roofs being blue and the DEWs. And when they are entering the home, you will notice a painting over to the right. And it has eyeballs all over it. So more all-seeing eye symbolism right in front of your face. They continue to put this stuff right in your face. And more checkerboard symbolism too, because Ethan Hawke's character was wearing a checkerboard-like shirt. But I guess they're just a fan of checkers and eyeballs, right? Or is there more to this? I'm going to go on record and say, yes, there is more to this. It is full of symbolism because Obama is part of the club. The children in this movie are also wearing very interesting shirts. You see Obey and NASA. They are basically telling you in a roundabout way to obey Satan. Because when NASA, quote unquote, launches off, they say T-. And when you rearrange the letters around, you get Satan. And NASA literally means deceit. And the obey shirt that the son is wearing looks eerily similar to Obama. And if you pay attention here in the background to the lamps, you will notice they are in a hourglass-like shape. And the hourglass is associated with the Illuminati, with Freemasonry. I harken back to the Economist magazine that just released, and the hourglass is prominent in this picture too, and so is the all-seeing eye, among other things. But the hourglass is heavily associated with Freemasonry. So it's very interesting they chose the hourglass shape for the lamps. And they had the emergency thing on the TV. And think about that emergency alert that people received on their phones, their TVs and stuff in October. Interesting stuff, right? Now I know that we do get emergency alerts from time to time, but it's just very interesting because of the stuff that started a couple days later after this emergency alert went out. So there is all kinds of symbolism throughout this movie. And in one scene, he is randomly filling up a bathtub. And the girl asked him why, and he said that's how you get water. Or something like that. I don't remember exactly how he put it, but that's more of the bathtub ritual, and that goes back to Matthew Perry, because Perry passed away, quote unquote, inside of a hot tub. And Friends is prominent throughout this movie because the little girl wearing the NASA shirt loves Friends. And the bathtub ritual has been prominent among artists like Eminem, Rihanna, etc., because it is a way to mock God, to mock the baptism, and at the same time, it is a ritual to them to be initiated further into the occult. Another very interesting thing is this guy was wearing a Cowboys hat randomly in the movie, and he was the one that was the most prepared. But it's quite interesting because the star is the pentagram. And that also goes back to Freemasons. The star is right there, as well as the all-seeing eye, among other things. So all of the symbolism is right there for you and me to see. I already pointed this out in a previous video, but it's interesting too how they focused randomly on the eclipse. That's very interesting how they just randomly focused on that. And as I pointed out, in 2024, there is going to be a eclipse. So what are they trying to tell you with all of this symbolism throughout this movie? With the whole cyber attack theme, the blackout theme, the eclipse theme, all kinds of different things are prominent throughout this film. Also, this movie is very boring, as I've pointed out already. It's a very boring movie. But it's just very interesting how they really focused a lot on the Friends theme throughout this movie. And the movie ends with the girl being able to watch the last episode of Friends, titled The Last One. So they are definitely hinting at something coming. Now, what that could be, I really don't know. But with all of this symbolism right in your face, and with the way they foreshadowed events that have happened, like Matthew Perry's demise, among other things, and then how now the news is talking about a possible cyber attack from China, it really makes you wonder what else they have in store. Now, I watched this movie, as I've already pointed out too, and I really missed a lot of the symbolism until I went back and looked and seen, because you will miss it on the first watch unless you're really paying attention. But this movie was full of symbolism. It's no surprise, though, because, as I've stated, the Obamas are in the club. They are part of the system, just like Trump, just like Biden, just like any politician. Because all politics are a sham. It's all used as a way to create division and to divide. It's interesting, too, how they focused on the red and blue a lot in here, too, because red and blue is synonymous also with Freemasonry. So there's definitely a lot of symbolism in this movie. I hope that you enjoyed the breakdown. What are your all's thoughts? Was there anything that I missed? As always, please like the video. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the bell icon so you can be notified of any and all future uploads to the channel. Share the content wherever you can think of sharing the content. I appreciate your continued support, and God bless each and every one of you. And this is Truth Seeker signing out.